Hi, I'm Dr. Sam Lamb. I'm the program chair for the ISHRS annual meeting in Berlin, October 23rd through 25th. We have a lot of exciting things like master classes and panelists and panels. This panel is on allogeneic hair transplant, a topic that's so interesting that I have put this front and center on day one. We have Sarah Wasserbauer and Alex Ginzburg, who's actually coming in from, I think, Paris late in the night. So we appreciate him being awake for this. Sarah, can you tell us a little about what this panel is about?
Yeah, we're going to be talking about a really unheard of transplant. And it would be groundbreaking if we could really make this come worldwide. But allogeneic hair transplant from somebody else. I'm sure everyone out there has gotten that question. Why can't I take hair from somebody else?
And you've done that, Sarah.
I have. So has Alex.
Yeah, and Alex has too. Maybe, give us a few pearls on, what you've experienced by having done that case with that brother and sister.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The case with the brother and sister was, he was her bone marrow transplant donor. So it was very easy from my perspective. All the HLA histocompatibility complexes and all the MHC typing had been already done. And she had gone through 2 rounds and pretty much was stable by that time. So I was able to go ahead with that. This would be the same thing as if you had 2 identical twins. As long as they have the same immune system, twinned immune systems, that's what you need in order to make this work.
So this case, obviously, they weren't twins, but they had HLA compatibility, and you feel like that's sufficient in your experience or your belief to possibly have success, right?
Yeah, if we were going to explode this worldwide, we need some tissue banks, and it would just be like any other organ donation. We would have a whole list of people who had donated their hair, and we would be able to check your type against what was in the tissue bank worldwide. So it's really exciting to think that way, because that would just be a total game changer for all of us.
And your patient is out how long since the transplant in terms of ongoing survival?
So she's since the bone marrow transplant or the hair transplant? Hair transplant 2 years, and we're planning another session coming up here. Incredible. She's also in medical school, so we have to figure out where she's going to fit that into her schedule.
Alex, tell us a little about your case, because I know you've done this as well.
Okay. I've been doing hair transplant for 34 years, and I always heard about it from my teachers and in the conference that it's impossible to perform a transplant from one person to another. Mm-hmm. And it's very common also for the patient to ask you, maybe I can take hair from another person to put me. And we always say, no, it's impossible. I think it's common sense that we are not doing this because it doesn't work. And I had a patient, he's living in Miami. Mm-hmm. He contacted me to come to Israel to do a hair transplant. He had a cicatricial alopecia, a very big bald area. It's a pseudopelada of rock. Is the last state of the Ejemplanopilaris. And when he sent me photography, they say, okay, I can do hair transplant. He came to Israel. When I removed the hair from the donor area, there was completely scars. Wow. So they have hair, but scars. That's the most very difficult to. When I saw this, but he came from Miami, and I explained him, listen, I cannot do a good work because I do have not do the donor area. But also I extract approximately 1,500 grafts and implant on the scalp. After a year, he came back to Israel, and he said, I want more hair. Yeah, but I have not done sufficient donor area to create another hair transplant.
Yes.
And he said, maybe you can take from my brother. No, impossible. We cannot do your brother. But why? Maybe we can try. Okay, he convinced me to try. I am okay to talk with your brother if he wants. And they are not twins; they are only brothers. And the brother have a wonderful donor area, and he accepted. He was agree to give the hair. And we did a proof with the 20 grafts, and after 6 months, the hair grows without complications. And he came again from Miami, and I did 2,000 grafts. I extract 2,000 grafts from his brother. I implant in this patient, and it was 5 years ago. And until now, every year he sent me photographies, and the hair is good, it's growing.
So despite having a scarring hair
Also,
loss and
alopecia.
allogeneic, he still survived 5 years. Absolutely incredible. Did you
Yeah.
test HLA compatibility? Do you, or you just said they're brothers and we're good to go?
Yeah, they have the same HLA.
So you did test that.
Yeah,
Okay, wonderful. And you did test grafts, Sarah? I think
I did after because
I did test grafts in my case because I wanted to see whether FUE or linear would work better in her case.
Okay. And you did, so Alex, you did FUE and Sarah, you did a strip, right? Ultimately?
I ultimately did a strip, yeah, but both of them grew.
Okay, wonderful. That's really cool. And I know we have some panelists as well coming on that we're.
Wait, you did a strip?
I did a strip. Yeah.
No. I did follicular units extraction.
Sarah did a strip.
In my initial test, I did two. I did FUE and linear just to test, like you did. And then we ended up doing whatever the donor wanted, and the donor, her brother, wanted to do a strip.
Alex,
no, one of the things, his brother, he didn't want the scar. I did FUE. Yeah.
Understand. And Alex, you mentioned when we had a conversation before about planning this, was it some legal considerations you were talking about? Could you briefly address that? I know this is not time for the whole panel.
That was a problem because this is you are trying with the human. No, it's not he convinced me to do, but I explained him that we will do a proof in 20 hairs. But I was sure that it will not work. It will not grow. And this is the reason I never published this, because I did this case, and only this case. But you need to receive an approval from Helsinki, and to be sure that you can do it.
Okay. And Sarah,
It's work, but the problem is it's legal or illegal to do this.
Yeah.
Sarah, in your opinion, I know you don't have extensive experience. I don't think anyone does. Would you say test grafts plus HLA compatibility are your two prerequisites for this? Besides that, a patient that's reasonable and understanding the risks of it, are there other things that a person should think about?
I think that remains to be seen. Definitely, if they have the same exact immune system, you're going to be okay. Graft versus host disease notwithstanding. But, there's been cases where they didn't do a ton of the HLA typing. They just transplanted from one person to another. I was talking to one of our panelists. His name's Tom Dawson, and he reminded me that back in the day, there was a husband and wife couple. They were both researchers, and he transplanted his hair onto her arm. She was pretty popular that ISHRS World Congress meeting. Everyone wanted to see the hairs growing on her arm, and sure enough, they were there and they were growing. And what's crazy about that one is that later they became divorced, and you kind of wonder who got the hair in the divorce settlement. But it might be the case that less typing is necessary. We just don't have the answers, because it's me, Alex, Tommy Huang, and Dr. Rosado who
Very few.
There's not. It's a tiny group, but I'm anxious to see, because this is not twins. I mean, Bill Rasmussen has done twins. Ken Washenik has done twins. Charles has done twins, but this is not twins. This is actual completely different individuals. And if they're siblings, remember, they only share 1/4 of their DNA.
I'm wondering.
One of the questions I ask me is, what happens if I do the hair transplant, maybe from brother to brother or to another person, that the HLA was different?
Mm-hmm.
Because this is a good question to know what happened. If the HLA influenced in the growing of the hair or no.
And maybe there's something really unique about hair compared to a liver transplant, where not only do you not need immunosuppression, but you don't even need HLA compatibility.
Right.
Right.
No, and that's
I
kind of what it
think
comes down to, because hair naturally has immune privilege. And so maybe what we need to do is just figure out what it would take in order for us to actually transplant from one individual to another without having them on immunosuppressive drugs the rest of their lives.
So, guys, we're out of time, and this is just a small tidbit of what you're going to get on day one in Berlin. Just to let you know, too, if we run out of time for questions for them, they're going to be part of a panel, a coffee with the experts. I have 26 to 27 tables on Saturday morning where you're going to be able to meet with them one-on-one and ask them these burning questions if you can't get your question in during their panel discussion. And they obviously have amazing panelists that are part of their panel. So thank you, guys. Especially thank you, Alex, for, I know you're incredibly late, and I'm so appreciative of your time. Come to Berlin, October 23rd through 25th.
we'll be there.
See all of you there.
See you there.
And
For sure.
congratulations.
We'll be there. Thank you very much.